how exactly will you go from words to actions when it comes to the implementation? And then finally, I think it's important, very important to highlight, as you have done, the work for reaching the 17 goals of the SDGs. But for that to happen, we also need resources. The Council has many times reaffirmed its commitment to increase the official development assistance within the EU to minimum 0.7% of GNI. But in 2019, only 3 member states reached the minimum goal of 0.7%. How do you intend to make all countries, including Slovenia, to respect the goals that the goal that Council itself set? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to Mr. Barry Andrews for Renew.
Thank you, Chair, and also thank you to the Slovenian Presidency for an excellent presentation. I was also very impressed with what I heard, particularly on the issue of water and the extent to which the speaker was able to connect it up with other issues and take such an integrated approach, particularly on the issue of gender. They are issues that are not always associated with each other, but there's a lot of research which shows that women are particularly impacted by the lack of clean water, by the lack of water, sanitation and hygiene facilities. And for example, I think 72% of water is collected by women in sub-Saharan Africa. It is Sustainable Development Goal 6, and an integrated approach to these types of issues is very far-sighted and is very welcome. 2 other issues I want to raise. Earlier today, we heard a most shocking presentation by the World Food Programme about the current food security nutrition situation globally. And it is not an exaggeration to say it is an issue that is going to be very damaging, particularly for children. Stunting in the first 3 years of a child's life is something that we have researched to the nth degree, and we are letting it happen right now on our watch. It is absolutely clear from Mr. Beasley's presentation earlier that there is a widening gap occurring here that needs to be addressed. So I want to know if the Slovenian presidency will be organising any EU initiatives in advance of the Global Food Systems Summit, which is happening in the autumn. And finally, I think the biggest issue, of course, that we're facing now is vaccinations. Because, again, there is research being done now which demonstrates a clear link between economic growth in the second half of 2021 and the availability of vaccinations. So that developed countries will experience economic growth in the second part of 2021 and into 2022, and countries that are currently at a vaccination rate of 5 to 6% are obviously going to be very damaged. Intuitively, it therefore follows that there's going to be a widening gulf of inequality on any number of human development indicators. And this issue has to be at the heart of the Slovenian presidency. I was really heartened to hear references made to the importance of this issue. But I think that it needs even more and greater concentration in the next 6 months. So my question is, where does the Slovenian presidency stand on efforts to increase production and distribution, but critically procurement? Should there be a global governance system for the procurement, distribution and development of vaccines? And will the Slovenian presidency commit to that area? Thank you, Chair.